You know, you can deal with things because you're human.
This isn't me. This is Simcast. Look, and it's got our chat on the screen. It's like literally clipped from my stream. Look, this is called Life After BAM. My reaction from Simcast. And it's got me in it.
Can deal with things. So yeah, it's about that sort of process. You know, in some ways. Yeah, I think I made a good analogy there anyway. So I worry about Simcast a little bit because I feel like she's definitely feeling grief here, and she's sort of explaining it as she's talking. So another thing that I would say is I'm probably not the best person for this, but if she ever wanted to talk to me, not on a stream, she can reach out to me in Discord or in a comment or something, and I can send her an email and you know, I'm not going to have. She doesn't have to give her my phone number. No, she doesn't have to have my phone number, or I don't have to have hers. You know what I mean? But we could talk on a Discord call or something if she wanted. I know it's a random thing to offer, but
hang myself from a door. Mimpspace says there are these thingamabobs where you can hang yourself from a door. It's supposed to be good for your neck. I just let the muscle strain. Just it happened when I sat up in bed and I felt it go, sort of thing. I knew, oh god, that's a crick in my neck there. I've just done a crick in my neck. Waking up doing a crick in my neck, but I'm not going to hang myself from a door because you'll see me. Peter Folding will murder me, and you'll see me on the news like Michael Hutchins. I feel like if someone's feeling grief and like this.
I thought that video that Scott made of me and Val, I thought it was really lovely.
Ah,
you know, he's a bit cheeky at times and he's a bit feisty, and so am I.
Oh, I'm cheeky and feisty, and so is she. So,
but you know, I quite enjoyed watching that, and I thought he was really cute in some parts of it.
Cute. I'm cute. I'm cute. I'm cute. I don't know if you caught that. I'm cute.
I thought he was really cute in some parts of it.
There you go. Official.
So there's a lot to talk about, and it's a time.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, but I think we should go over that bit where you said I was cute again. James Coffee Time YouTube, can you do a sing along of Touchy by Aha, please, and make sure you hit all the high notes? Apparently, Philip Schofield has some beef with Morton Hackett. I don't know who Morton Hackett is, and I've never heard that song. I don't think. Thanks, first time chatter. James Coffee Time YouTube. It's an interesting name as well. Morton Hackett. I don't know who Morton Hackett is.
The day when it's getting later and the darkness is coming down. And,
oh, the darkness is coming down. Hang on. What's happening?
So there's a lot to talk about.
Wait, I didn't go back far enough.
I thought he was really cute in some parts of it. That, and I thought he was really cute in some parts of it.
That's me being cute again. The singer from Aha. I know this. Yeah, of course I know the song "Take on Me," the cool music video with the graphics. Talking away. But it's a long time ago now. You've tweeted at me a bit because my YouTube videos are good. Thanks. I'm just listening to a video by Simcast here, who is going to talk about her life after BAM, her reaction, and she said I was cute, so we're just listening to that bit over and over again.
And I thought he was really cute in some parts of it.
In some parts of it. Which she doesn't specify which parts, but she doesn't say that in other parts I'm not cute. Right? Bear this in mind. Analytical minds here. She doesn't say that he's cute in some parts of it and in other parts he's not cute at all. She just says in some parts he's cute. And then she could go on to say in all of the parts he's also cute. In the other parts that I didn't specify he was cute, and he is still also cute. So I could be cute the whole time. You don't know. We can discuss other pop stars like Brian Harvey. We did discuss him sometimes. Like, he's going through some shit and he's got some interesting ideas. Yeah, we have discussed him sometimes. If we go on Battery Exhausted, you can see a little bit of a reaction I had to his conversation with his MP. We do talk about that sometimes.
So there's a lot to
This
talk
looks like
about.
a missing persons poster. No, she looks British. She's done her hair all straight.
And it's a time of the day when it's getting later and the darkness is coming down, and I've got my candles lit.
She's got the altar lit.
And apart from the noise in the back with workmen behind me,
Yeah, I quite like Brian as well. Yeah.
it's just
I mean, it's a funny thing with YouTube, right? Is people are on the internet talking. This probably goes for me as well. Is if you had to spend 24 hours, like if you did Big Brother house with someone, you probably wouldn't like anyone, I guess. Like everyone would get on your nerves at some point. And with Brian, I think if you had to live like constantly in his bubble, like it might get a bit much. You might start to think, well, couldn't we just do this? Or, you know, aren't you being a bit silly there? Or like, but equally, like I was saying at the start of today's episode about stuff, like I think you just have to respect other people's, like, and respect and accept like their what they want to do and how they want to be. So like, I kind of do. So yeah. You can't post in my chat like that.
time that I'm having
You can post it on the Discord if you want.
to myself, and I need those times to myself when I can just be still with my thoughts. And I want to cover a lot of things. One of the things that I want to say is that I have no idea what I would do
Simcast on Simcast.
Without a mother. To me,
She said it was cute. We're being nice to each other on the internet. It's a new phenomena. It's a strange idea I've come up with. But instead of slagging everyone off, sometimes I'm nice to people. She's just saying what she would do without her mother, this is interesting because I tell you what is immediately resonating. I think I might be a counsellor. I should be a counsellor, except I don't want to sit and listen to other people's problems all day. I'll do it from time to time when I feel like it. Wouldn't work with counselling, would it? So, and it's not. I'm not taking that approach to my content creation. Really, I'm just saying, like, you know, some days are strong work days and some days are low ebb days. Yeah. The ones I'm nice to end up being nutters. That's true. That's true. I do think maybe I should just not like, you know, it's weird on the internet, right? Like this, the usual rule is if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. So only say nice things about people. But on the internet like this, it's actually the other way around. Is if you always say bad things about everyone, then when they turn out to be nutters, you're like, oh, I was right all along. But if you say good things about everyone, when some people turn out to be nutters, you're like, oh no, I gave them tacit approval and now they're a nutter. It's weird, isn't it? I was just saying, I think Simcast is understanding that, like, she's very close to her mom. Like, her mom's obviously older than her and will die. Like, you know, and I suppose there's a lot of people in that situation, and sadly, there's a lot of people who've already lost their mom. She's reflecting on it after Mother's Day as well. I think she's probably working out a few things in her mind about the future through the prism of Bam's recent death, maybe.
even though I've had issues with my mum over the years because I'm a rebel, and my teenage years were very difficult as well.
What she means to say is this. This is going to get me copyright strike, but what she means to say is this.
She devil, she bad little bitch, she rebel. She head, I don't care, I paint the town red. She devil, she bad little bitch, she rebel. She go forward to the pedal, it'll take a whole lot for me to settle.
Let's go back to this.
Even though I've had issues with my mother over the years, not speaking to her, being estranged from her at times, I cannot imagine a world where she doesn't exist. And I feel for people who don't have mothers, because I just don't know what I would do without a mother. And last year she was ill and I was really frightened. If something happened to my dad, I could handle it. And I know that sounds horrible, but that's just the truth. But my mom is everything. Like, I would rather go before she does. So, that's how I feel. I also want to say that I know that I can come across as obnoxious and overly confident, maybe even a little feisty, whatever, but I am actually quite a very down-to-earth person. I'm a girl next door. I'm easy to talk to. I'm an empath. I'm sensitive as well. I'm quite sensitive, not necessarily about myself, but to other people. I'm sensitive to emotions. I have anxiety. I have imposter syndrome. I have issues just like everybody else. There, days when I don't want to talk to anyone, and there are days when I'm more engaging. So I'm a normal person who goes through normal facets of life, and I don't want to come across unrealistic in my podcast at all.
This is fine.
What's
imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is if you, for example, work really hard and get a degree in, I don't know, like forensic psychology, for example, and then you go into the job, you get you go into the job process and you win the job, and then you do all this stuff. So you've done all the training, you've done all the, and then they put you on the job and they say, right, so we've had a murder, we'd like you to write a report. There's the thing, go ahead. And you get on the job and you think, fucking hell, they all expect me to know what I'm doing here. Like, they're all looking at me like I'm the official forensic psychologist on the job. But I feel like, just me, who's done a bit of training and done a bit of that, I feel like an imposter. I feel like another example is, I don't know, like, well, anything like that, with hairdressing, I suppose I used to be a hairdresser, you do all the training, you get on the job, like some client comes through the door and they're like, right, I'd like this done with my hair, please. And you think, well, fucking hell, I've not done that before. Well, actually, for me, it was literal imposter syndrome when it was something like, I haven't done that cut before on a client. Let's go, but like, you feel like sometimes a little bit out of your depth, but actually you're supposed to be there. That's your job. So you feel like an imposter. And the reason it's imposter syndrome is because you're the person doing the job. You're supposed to be there. It's not that you were literally an imposter who's just like dressed up as a chef and doesn't know how to do the cooking, but someone looks to you in your position of authority and you yourself feel like, well, I'm just a normal human being like you, it's just that someone gave me the special hat and I'm the one that's doing the job. So imposter syndrome is a sense of it's about undervaluing yourself in a position where it's a social position where other people are ascribing value to you, sort of thing. I'm not exactly sure why she should feel it about her podcast, but
I'm a very down-to-earth person who has, I'm kind of yin and yang. I'm happy and I'm sad. I'm up and I'm down. And, I'm a complex individual.
I'll tell you what's happening here. Is this a little one of those, this is like, it feels like dating in the 1980s where someone might do a little tape about themselves. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of an insight into the old, like, not to expect her to be happy all the time. I understand that she needs a bit of space sometimes. I get it. It's not all hot tub.
Individual as well. I'm not straightforward all
Do a
the time.
dating tape, what, for me? What to say? Hi, I'm Scott. I like... Well, you have to start with I like, don't you? And I don't want to start with that. See, cut. Hi, I'm Scott. What do you like? What are your interests? I can't hear you talking, so you need to meet me for the date so that I can hear you. Does that sound good? That'd be mine. I wouldn't be able to do it these days, would I? What do you say? Like, I used to be at least able to say something like, my name's Scott. I run my own salon, so everything that comes with that. Thank you very much. What do you want from me? But the status, even though some people these days might think streaming is like a status job or whatever, I'd be like, hi, my name's Scott. I'm a bit of a media producer. I do stuff on YouTube. You don't really want to watch it. Don't worry about that. Like listing all the things you've got to offer feels a bit like weird. Feels a bit, don't want to do that.
And I'm not always confident. Sometimes I feel, I have insecurities like everybody else. I'm just a normal person. I
think I'm a good cook. Got a good sense of humour. Don't stand for a load of nonsense. I don't think I'd put don't stand for a load of nonsense on it, actually. probably. You see, I don't know what's good and bad to put on it, really.
I want to come across like I think I'm better than anybody else, because I don't. And I'm very, very different to how Bam was. I don't seek admiration.
I did have a Tinder profile.
I
I have had a Tinder profile. I just put a few pictures of me and wrote something like stupid and pretentious on there. And like, basically, I swiped Tinder and I'm just like, no, 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 no. And then I put it down. Like, I think I've done 2 Tinder profiles over my time. A couple of times you swipe and you think, do I recognise this person? You think, oh God, if I recognise someone from my local area, people from my local area might recognise me, and then I put it down. I can't even get into it to open it. It wants my email address and it's like, oh, tell me your password, and I can't remember, so I'm not even going there. I'm not interested. Plenty of fish, bloody hell. Plenty of fish is plenty of people with mental problems. Not to be sad about mental problems, but you know what I mean? Like, Plenty of Fish is fucking horrific. It's like arriving to the buffet and realising everyone's already gone first, and all you've got is the couple of prawn vol au vents and a olive on a stick. Like, plenty of fucking what the fuck. And these days people don't even use, like, that's boomer, that is. Like, that's being a boomer. Like, these days people use, I've heard of Hinge, I've never seen it, I've heard of it. People use other different things. They go on Plenty of Fish these days, they go on and talk to each other like they're on a live stream, and it's like doing a TikTok stream with people, and they're all strangers and you don't know them, and like they're like, half of them are doing this with the phone like up above, like you can't see their face and you can't see this, and like it's like, what? I don't want to have a chat to a nice lady with other fucking weirdos on the stream at the same time. Thanks. No, I'm not doing anything like that. Leave me alone. And like, I don't think, when I look at these things as well, when I'm halfway through skimming on Tinder or whatever, I think to myself, the woman of my dreams is not going to meet me through this Tinder app. Like, over my entire life, I've never had any success on any sort of formulaic, like, we met on a dating app setup. In fact, all of the people that I've gone out with has been because I've met them in real life and said, hey, before you go, or like, can I get you a coffee, or do you like this? Let's have a chat. And like, those sort of conversations. Like, there's just no way I'm gonna. I think, in my experience. Oh, now you're out in. Wait, what's the point? Because I'll pick you up. Come on. Come on. Don't complain. You have to squeeze through this little gap if you want to be picked up this way. There you go. Yeah, so I just don't feel I don't have any hope in those sort of things, so I don't bother with them. Yeah. I think I'm much better, I come across much better than a profile app. Like, if you meet me in real person, that's the best way to meet me, in real person, hard light, official, not through the prism of a dating app. I just don't think it works. I think also what's the case is that maybe ladies, when they're perusing dating apps, have a sort of checklist in their mind about things that are and are not acceptable, and like, you either do click these boxes or you don't, because they've got little boxes for stuff, and like, I'm like, well, you know what, fuck those boxes, meet me and decide if you like me, and then decide from there. Like, in fact, that's what's frustrated me about 1 or 2 little relationships I've had in my life. Like, one where certain, like, we liked each other, but she was just like, the relationship can't work, and I was like, well, that's so stupid, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know why we're going on about this. I'm not going on fucking Tinder or nothing. She
did. I'm very different, and I think, once I left her channel. And another thing about
Asbo Casbo, you remember popping on a while later out of curiosity, same people, same profile pics. I imagine they've got an algorithm, and I imagine that they're trying to serve people to you that have already clicked, oh, you're nice, to you, if you know what I mean, like, so that you match people. Like, if a load of people have clicked no on you, then you're less likely to get served them, I think, because why would they serve you someone who's already declined you? Like the yes/no system, the swipey system. I assume the swipey system is to use behind-the-scenes algorithms to drive people towards each other that like each other. So, yeah, I think it probably is trying to, like, maybe, you know, there's an algorithmic reason for it trying to serve you certain things.
Me as well. One of the reasons why I did leave your channel is because I do not like conflict. I want to get along with my fellow creators. I don't like conflict. You know, I will defend myself and I will speak up for myself eloquently, but I want peace in my life. I want peace. I don't want to be back and forth, tit for tat. It's just not me. I just want to say that I fully support the Nottingham Bike channel, NVB.
That's a bombshell. Because the Nottingham Village Bike channel is like basically like a really harsh attack channel on BAM.
There's only one thing that I disagree with that was put out on that channel. Oh, and by the way, for anyone who thinks, sometimes I wrestle with UK spelling versus US spelling, and I prefer the US spelling of the word behaviour, which has a U in it. Someone mentioned that I spelt behaviour wrong on Scott's channel. It's not the wrong spelling if you take the U out. That's the US spelling. I just wanted to clear that up. But anyway.
They've been chatting in the comments on my channel. Bloody hell, I don't keep up with that. I've not critiqued her spelling on a thing, and I don't think it's worth, like, if you're arguing with someone about ideas, I don't think it's worth critiquing their spelling, because, like, we're not, like, in the modern age as well. This is a bit, I'm going to take this point a little bit, because it just does my head a little bit. I'm very, I was brought up to be grammar police. I was grammar policed. I was brought up to know whether the full stop went inside the parenthesis or not. So I get it, but it's the internet and people just typing things on their phones, and like English might not be people's first language, whether you know it's her first language or not. Like, you know, not Simcast as an example there, but just generally in comments. Like, I think being pedantic about language like that is just strange and silly also, because things change, and they've changed because of the way people use the language, so you just sort of have to accept it. And then once you've argued with someone about their spelling, you've lost the whole conversation about whatever they were talking about. So it's a bit weird, isn't it, to be like eggy about someone's spelling when you're talking about ideas.
The Nottingham Village Bike. I agree with practically.
On the other hand, if someone can't put together coherent sentences, they can't express their ideas properly, and you worry about the level of their cognition.
Everything on that channel, I support that channel, with the exception that BAM was always bad. You know, people like her, and I believe we all have good and bad in us. We all have light and dark in us. We all have yin and yang. There's no person that's all good necessarily or all bad. It's just some people, the balance is more on one side. But, you know, BAM has helped people. She's helped to raise money for people. She's helped people with their animals. She wasn't always bad. Sometimes she was a positive influence. Sometimes she helped people. Sometimes she was encouraging. If she was always bad, then she wouldn't have had the support that she had. People that supported her thought she was a person who...
Well, the counter-argument to that is that she's a manipulative narcissist, so the people that she's nice to, she felt had some use or value, so she was nice to them in special ways that was pertinent to them to get them on her side. So she sort of manipulated people with fake niceness.
Who had integrity, thought that she was an honest person, thought that she liked them. So, you know, I disagree with this notion that BAM was always bad, and I am a firm believer. I started listening to her about a year or a year and a half before I made contact with her, and she had the odd tantrum every now and then. You know, sometimes she would go after somebody every now and then, and I'm not saying...
I was thinking about this the other day, actually, Kelly, about, like, I used to mix up my I's and E's, and, like, you were taught as a kid certain things that were just like rules, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense, you just have to do it this way. And the other one was iron. I remember my mom teaching me how to say to spell iron, like, you know, to write it down, because I would write I-O-R-N, iron, iron, but it's iron, and we don't say iron, do we? iron, we say. So like, just, you know, not spelling phonetically was a problem to me when I was a kid, and that's not wrong. Like, you know, you're taught all these rules about how the letters work. You're taught how all the alphabet works and how to say this, that, and then you start doing the words, and they say, no, this one's got a silent P. No, this one, the I goes before the thing. No, for this, it's a different. And you're like, what? Okay, I'll fix that into my new rule set. But like, it makes it harder because it goes against actually the sort of human aspect of, that's what it sounds like, that's how I'll write it. Like, but truthfully, that's how our words have changed over the years. Like, you know, we have French words in our English language that we don't pronounce French. We have, like, it's just all sorts. And if you went back 100 years, you wouldn't be able to speak to people properly. They wouldn't understand what you were saying. They'd think you were doing a foreign accent. Like, if you went back 200 years, 500 years, you know, the longer you go back, the stranger and more different the same language gets, until it's no longer the same language, I guess. And that's a feature of online usage of language, is that, like, you know, we say things like lol, or like, you know, we write things, we understand each other, the rules are broken, it doesn't matter, like, you know, that's going to be the future.
And that's acceptable either, but she really did escalate her antics in the last few months. She really did. That's my personal opinion. Also, I want to mention this. When I said EK in my last video on Scott's channel, he mentioned EK.
I got this wrong.
I wasn't talking about Emma Kenny.
Although you did mention Emma Kenny specifically in the video, which is what threw me off. But I noted in the comments a lot of people were saying it's Emerald somebody. And I'd see, now, I know their videos are for those people in that community sometimes, and like, some of them in their community get a little bit eggy with me for just like poking my nose in and not knowing what's going on. But I'll tell you what, like, they all speak in code. They've all got, why can't you just say what names they are? EK, NK, EKNK, NKEK.
Talking about Emerald Kimmy, who was an online friend of mine, and we both joined Bam's channel around the same time and left around the same time. I think I'm getting that correct, but I wasn't talking about Emma Kenny when I mentioned EK. I was talking about Emerald Kimmy. He was a wonderful person.
Sounds very similar to name.
And yes, I have mentioned Emma Kenny as well. I might even do an episode on Emma Kenny, because Bam had cited her as taking her content, which is absolute nonsense. I also want to say I support
That's the cat out of the bag for that episode then.
Kay's way 100%. I think she's a good person. I think she's an honest person. I was very, very sad to see that she'd taken down her channel or privated her channel or whatever she did. I really, really was not happy about that, because I really wanted her support, and I support her 100%. And I was really looking forward to maybe not taking active part in the live stream that she was going to do, but I was really looking forward to listening to her live stream. I really was, and I was very disappointed when I saw that her channel was no longer there. I also want to mention something about Val. Val and I had a fallout over a year ago. We're not friends. We're not fans of each other.
Ooh, and I put them both in the same video. I reacted to them both back to back. Ooh.
I do agree with a lot of what Val has said recently. We are not responsible for Bam's family. And she wouldn't care about ours, I can tell you that from now. We've all shown respect to Bam's family. We've all wished them well. I don't see anyone who has done otherwise. We've all shown respect to Bam's family. I respect her family. And I've said, you know, she loved her family and she was proud of them. She's got a beautiful family. So no one has shown anything but respect for Bam's family. I also want to mention a little something about JC, because there was this narrative out there once.
See, JC now, the first thing that comes to mind when I think JC is Jesus. Jesus, that's what I think of. Who's JC? Genetic code, isn't it? Genetic code. It must be, mustn't it?
That because of my love for JC, that I didn't like Scott. Because of that, because there was this little back and forth between them.
Ooh, here we go, here we go. But no, she does like Scott because Scott's cute.
No, that's not how it goes. What's between JC and Scott, their little back and forth, I never got involved in. When Scott first came on the scene... And
I'm going to take your Simcast off your genetic code. Me and Simcast are going to get married and genetic code is not allowed to come to the wedding. Not even the after party. She's not even allowed to DJ the after party.
he came on the scene...
No, she didn't say I wasn't cute in the other parts either. She just said I was cute in some parts, which could mean the bits where my face was in it, all of it.
Later. He came after Justin, okay?
He came after Justin. Now, do you mean you came after Justin because somebody was later than Justin? Or do you think, or are you saying you came after Justin because he went after them, like chased after them? And who's Justin and what's happening now? Because we've gone from genetic code's not allowed to come to our wedding to Justin now. Or do you get confused?
And he came on the scene...
Justin Bieber's the only one I know called Justin.
Later. He came after Justin, okay?
Who's Justin?
When Scott first came on the scene, I didn't really watch him much. I would hear people talking about him.
Who's this Justin now? It's Justin this and Justin that. Well, you're just in time to just get the fuck out. It's just in this and it's just in that. Well, you're just in trouble now because it's just in time for you to get the fuck out. Am I being cute now? Or is this one of those other bits? Justin the bin, Justin bin, Justy, look, Dusty bin, Dustbin, Dusty bin, Justin bin, just go, right, forget it.
There, and sometimes I would go and watch clips of him.
Who, me or Justin?
Okay. When Scott first came on the scene, I didn't really watch him much. I would hear people talking about him here and there, and sometimes I would go and watch clips of him. But when he first came on the scene, I didn't really watch him all that much. I only watched clips of him, and I saw clips of him. I started to watch him a little bit.
Cute clips. Clips of him being cute. Cute. Shut up about Justin. Justin's not doing a stream, is he? Fucking Justin. Fucking brought Justin into this. Bring Justin into this. Fucking Justin. Which clips? With a willy in my mouth. Okay. The chocolate milk clips. The chocolate milk clips. Oh, God.
A bit more later on.
She watched a bit more later on.
I started to watch him a little bit more later on.
Later on at night.
And, yeah, I thought he was a bit much. I wasn't keen on Scott at first. But, you know, I grew fond of Scott over time. And
Fond. Well, forget what she just said, that first bit. Now it's fond and cute. Fond's a bit soft, isn't it? Fond. Fond's a bit like, you know, you might be fond of a cat. Fond. Be fond of Justin. Be fond.
No, he's been critical of me, and
I've been. Yes, I have. That's true.
Probably been critical of him in the past as well. If
I don't notice.
Memory serves me correct, but you know,
I don't remember. We can write that off. That's not getting in the wedding speech. We'll probably leave that out of the wedding speech. I've been critical of him, and he's been critical of me. Ladies and gentlemen gathered here today, thank you all very much for attending. Just like to open up by saying in the past I've been critical. Does the bride do a speech? She must do, mustn't she, in the modern age? Like, surely the bride gets to do a speech in the modern age. I've been critical of him and he's been critical of me. But we managed, and I'll be like, did you? Were you? Hang on, wait, I can't remember this. You should have brought this up before we got married. When's this criticism been?
grew fond of him later on.
Grew fond of me.
But that has nothing to do how I felt about, you know, I love them both. I love JC and I love...
No. No. Exhume JC from that part of your heart and insert the super chuffer. Forget that stupid genetic code. You can't love them as well. They're not coming to the wedding. They're non grata persona. No thanks.
Scott, you know, I love them both in different ways.
Different ways, yeah. You love me because I'm cute and you're fond of me and you love Genetic Code because you love to hate her and she's such a toad. JC's genetic, it's not Justin nothing. Perhaps Genetic Code's called Justin. No, because Justin's someone that I was. Justin just got thrown in there as a curveball that has no relevance to what we're talking about. I don't know who Justin is.
In context of BAM.
Listen, you can see Genetic Code on Thursdays, and the rule is you go and you see her, and then you come back, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear what fun you've had or nothing. Just you keep that to yourself and you talk about it with your friends on the internet. I don't want to hear it in the house. I'm not being controlling or nothing. You do what you want, but you just do it outside the house. Don't put me through it. When I'm out, you can do it in the house. I just don't want to deal with it. I just fucking... If you want to play trumpet, go and play trumpet. Like, no trumpet in the house. I don't mind the trumpet in general principle. No trumpet in the house. Play as much trumpet as you want, but no trumpet in the house, yeah? I'm not sitting here listening to the fucking trumpet all night. Don't care how good you play it. No trumpet in the house. If you go to Genetics Code channel, then unsubscribe from Sky. Oh god, I'm going to pull my collarbone now.
Was on BAM's channel in the latter stages. But she was always a very independent creator, and she never got involved in some of the antics that I see those others have gotten involved in. And she's always, in the past, JC has always been good to me. She's always stuck up for me. I'm talking about Genetic Code here.
Thanks.
I've always liked her. Now, she's not perfect.
We did manage to assume it was that and not Jesus that's always stuck up for you and didn't engage in petty squabbles like other channels. I think I managed to clear that up myself, but...
She can get a bit emotional.
Do we need a muffin meeting? I think I missed them. My muffin moderator's across with me today. I escaped. I'm nautis.
She can get over emotional at times. She can get, sometimes her emotions get the better of her. But she's a human being and she's imperfect. But I've always loved her, and I want her to know that. And, as you can see, she hasn't gotten involved in some of the antics that some of the others have gotten involved with. That
we're talking about Genetic Code now. I've gone off this a bit now.
Part of her channel. And I always will respect JC. JC isn't perfect. She's made mistakes, like we all do. But I love her, and I love Scott. And my feelings towards JC...
She slipped that in under the radar.
Like we all do, but I love her and I love Scott.
I think I've got something in my eye now. She loves me. No, Genetic Code is not allowed. We're not having genetic... She's not... It's Simcast loves Scott. I'm cute. She loves me. That's where we've got to. Genetic Code is just confusing the issue. I've legitimately got something in my eye now, so that's not ideal. I'm just going to just rub my eye and make it worse for a bit. Right, that hasn't helped.
My feelings towards JC or Scott have nothing to do with their back and forth with each other. And I think I've covered everything. I had to record this part again.
She had to record it again because she said how much she loved me the first time and forgot to mention Genetic Code to colour this, and she listened to it back and she thought, oh god, it just sounds like I've told him I love him all over the internet. I'm going to have to start talking about Genetic Code to sort of like snazz this bit up so it doesn't sound like I just said I loved him. But we know.
Life after BAM is going to be very challenging. I'm going through a lot of emotions, and it's not just because of BAM, it's because of things that happened before BAM and things that are going to happen after.
Fair play. At least she's like properly self-aware about that.
Quite myself, and I hope that I will get over this time and I will get over the challenges of this time and I can get back to being myself again. But it's going to be a while before I get back to my full whole self, and it's going to be a while before I feel secure. And, I've got a challenging time ahead. There
you go. Interesting stuff. challenging time ahead. I've been warned. See, there is one aspect of this, which is now looking at these podcasts, looking at these thumbnails I'm being offered. This one down here, I do know that is now a Simcast podcast one, because it says Dave disliked Megan, happy birthday, thrive, and it's got Chris Watts, Alan, all sorts on it. Like, that actually does make me know that that's a Simcast one now. I am actually now aware of that.